So my name is Boris Belmar. I'm originally from Spain. You got one of us already here, all right? I'm born in Madrid. Since quite early ages, I've been practice sport, just like you guys do. Have a seat, have a chat. Yeah, and I practiced sport, and then I moved to the army, right? From 17 years old, I've been in the army. I did around 6 to 8 years in service, 4 years in action, right? And then I got retired, I got injured, and the people in the army think I was no good anymore for the function that I need to do. So I get retired, and I move and start moving around countries. Yeah, get to know things new. And I come across with a lovely lady in New Zealand, and here I am. All right, simple story. But through the time I've been in the army and I've been retired, I had the opportunity to learn a lot of skills. And one of the skills was combat. Yeah. And the most important skill that I learned was something called self-defense, self-protection. This is why I'm here. Right? I'm not practice martial art like you do. Okay? I don't practice anymore any combat sport. I used to do that. But now what I do is, and my company does, Human Weapon Self-Defense and Fitness, is prepare people for protect themselves. And I'm pretty much sure that what you guys doing here is pretty much the same. We're seeking for the same thing, right? Yeah, you practice, you learn it in order to use it if it's necessary once. So any of you have the opportunity to use in a real situation the skills that you already got? Yeah, you don't get? Perfect. Anyone else? Perfect. I believe you're a boxer as well. Perfect. Yeah, good. And the reality is quite different, isn't it? Quite different. Yeah. Myself, I have the opportunity to test my skills in many occasions. 4 years in action, Kuwait, Iraq, Colombia, Kosovo, Sierra Leone, East Timor. We've got a lot of little marks that remind me all the time that what I done. But also, in my mind, is the big signature from the self-defense, yeah, which is called PTSD, post-traumatic disorder, which I believe everyone they've been exposed to a situation like that have it, mild or more intense for different reasons, but they get it. And it probably will be the boring class that you ever have in your life today. But my mission today is get the same idea what self-defense is, right? We want to get agree to disagree if we need to, but we need to get the same terminology right. Because what are you guys doing in here is Aikido, okay? And you use it for self-defense. I'm understanding well? Yeah. Boxing, you use it for self-defense. Yeah, but you Aikido, but you used to be a boxer. I just want to relate. I learned boxing to do a sport combat. And in order to do a sport combat, I had to go to the ringside to defend myself against another person. They know similar things, and we are bound similar rules. Because every time you do martial art, sport combat, you are bound by rules. Is that right? You got a referee, and you have to be respectful of this rule. If not, you get out. Isn't it, Don? Yeah. Self-defense don't have the rules. All right? And this is the tricky part of the whole thing. Because if you understand what self-defense is in the dictionary, you will realize it's completely different what it's all about martial art in combat sport. Yeah, because it's only the simple way to defend yourself against to a person or a threat. That's all it is, self-defense. No more than that, right? So we are agreed, guys. Please, if you thinking I'm just talking rubbish, please raise your hand and say, "Hey, Mike, completely different idea." Because what I am, who I am, I did a research for that. After my time, after the army, I get retired and I get money and nothing to do, so I did a lot of stuff. Yeah, and especially research. So I did psychology because I want to help myself to overcome PTSD. I did biomechanics to understand what actually I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. Very important, isn't it? And I did something called personal training. And I understand what is the difference between conditioning, strength, power, agility, and a few things. They are very different that you guys needed to perform your technique. Am I right? Yeah? Yeah, you guys do a lot of movement. I see the videos, Duncan videos, amazing. Yeah? But you need all of that. Yeah? And I become a very, very, very much into all the kind of things to understand so I can help myself. And now I help other people. One of my jobs now, I work in IoT Millennium with people, Olympians, high level fitness, to try to achieve that. I got my own company that I do self-defense and fitness, and I got a little studio. Yeah, he come and see me sometimes say hello, and I work for Snap Fitness and Northern Arena as a personal trainer. And yeah, all right. What I do is try to collect as much information to understand how I can help people to defend themselves. So, if you can share with me, what is your idea of the successful self-defense? Any idea what it would be like a successful self-defense for you? Immobilize. That's a good point, isn't it? Immobilize. Anyone got any other idea?
Nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets hurt.
Oh, that's a good point, isn't it? Because if you immobilize someone, probably will hurt. You don't know. Probably you will make damage. Isn't it?
You can go down.
This is the point.
Yeah.
This is where I go with that. Because the technique that you actually learning got a result. Isn't it? Every action got a reaction. So if someone provoke you, probably will provoke a little bit too much, you a little bit overheat, and then you can actually try to immobilize a person and ending with a fracture. And then you will go to court for assault. Am I right? So self-defense is way different than what you guys at the moment are tackling. You are tackling something way more complex than self-defense. Yeah? Which is a martial art, is an art. And I believe, Duncan, how long you been doing this thing?
40-something.
40, isn't it? So require time, maturity. How I can give someone the maturity Duncan have, or one of the more experts here have, to a person to use the technique. How do you think I can do that? It's hard, isn't it? Compress everything there, all the tranquility, the control, the technique, the accuracy, the force, how I can compress every single thing in a short period of time. Can I? I can't. So I can't pretend that I will tell someone a technique that take me too long to dominate. I expect they will do it for self-defense when they are against their will, because when you defend yourself, it's because you not provoke the other person. The other person is provoking or attacking you. So there's no 50-50 here, Mike. It's 70-30. You are not aware what happened, you get attacked, you need to deal with it. It's way different than sport combat, which you got a referee, you coming inside, you looking in the middle with the dog eye, and then 50-50. And the best one wins. In self-defense, someone is gonna come from behind, from the side. 2 of them, 3 of them. A bigger one, a smaller one with a weapon. You never know. But you need to use what you learn in this situation, which is different what martial art is all about and sport combat is all about. Will you follow me? Yeah? Getting too bored? No? Not yet? Good. So I can't do that. So my company and my research, what it does, very simple. Pick up techniques with the army teach, moderate it, mold it, and make it simple, practical, easy to understand, and then repeat it. The same program you do, don't come here many times. Yeah, you guys probably repeat more several times. You know it by heart. This is what your job is it? How effective they are, we never know, because we don't know what the other person will do. We only can control the controllables. We can't control the other person. We need to control us. Is it? So self-defense bound to really basic rules. But I don't know if anyone here been in the army or police or any kind of career like that. No? Okay, so my experience, army, self-defense, 3 rules. Control fear, so you control yourself. Locate the target. I got you. Eliminate you. Boom. Army, simple. I'm not going to get in prison to do that because the army allow me to do it. But you can't follow this rule in here, sir. You can't. You got a life sentence for murder. And I have a medal called San Lorenzo medal, which is a courage medal, to do the same thing as other people get life sentence. Do you find it fair? Not really. But this is the rules. So civilians like us, 3 rules too. What do you think they are? Let me help you. Control fear. Control fear. Separation. Step away from me. If you're coming too close, I need to use something to separate it. 3rd rule. Escape. If I can't escape, what I need to do? Retaliate. Is it? So any one of you guys read the Self-Defense New Zealand law? No? I invite you to do it, because you will find really interesting things. Because the law, unfortunately, is made for the bad people come victorious. So you come in here, you want to mug me, I'm a tiny guy, and I fight you and I use my technique, I broke your nose, and we go to court. And I accuse you of assault because you tried to mug me. And the money that you take from my wallet, you pay a good lawyer, and the lawyer will charge me for assault and broken nose. And I need to pay you nose, I need to pay the doctor, I need to pay you lawyer, and I need to do court. So guys, self-defense is a little bit different, isn't it? It's very cruel, but this is what it is. So what do we need to understand on self-defense is we need to control fear. And if we know the technique, we need to know how to use it, when to use it, and which the intensity we will use of that. And it's easy when we're training, because it's something really, really, really complicated that you got in here called heart. And it's beating all the time. And when you do things like Aikido, beating faster, isn't it? And your heart take oxygen to your body, isn't it? Your brain said, look, we're using the legs, we're kicking, where the blood go? So don't use it in here, don't use it in here. Use it in there, on the legs. Oh, we punching. Oh, blood going to your arms. So now you got your brain telling your body and your heart, beep as hard as you can, man, because we need to supply your legs, you need to supply your arms, but not the stomach and not the brain. So we come to a point that we just get emotional. We don't analyze. We don't have the analytical brain anymore. It disappears, it's gone. And here you always know what to do and how to do it. In a self-defense situation, you don't have the luxury. Your heart will pump into here, and you will get in something called shock. And if you know mechanical enough, you will stop and throw. This is why don't come make you repeat many, many times things. Because if you are mechanical, you don't need your brain to react. Isn't it true? All right? So, the problem with that is after the emotional brain, we got something called reptilian brain. Then we don't feel pain, we don't feel tiredness, we don't feel hungry, we don't feel anything. We just do. And this is the biggest problem on self-defense, because you're going to a self-preservation mode. And then all your knowledge is gonna disappear. And you will win and try to survive. You agree with me? Mm-hmm. Yeah? So what happened with that? How we can incorporate the Aikido or any kind of technique that we know or learn in this state of brain. You guys training in here, tell me, you are the guys training all the time. When you are really tired and you're training and training and training and training and training, how you overcome not to think about the whole thing? Yeah, repetition, but it's something called conditioning. And this is what Duncan is doing in here with you guys. It's conditioning to act in a certain situation, in a certain heart rate, elevated. So what I do is my company does. We measure all that. We put monitors there, and I look at in there how the person is training, how it's going, because I can't pretend a person little try to make a move and a bigger person try to defend themselves when the heart rate is 175. They hardly can breathe, they hyperventilate, they can't move the arm, they are overwhelmed by everything. How I can pretend that she can make the successful move? I need to condition this situation. So make her do that. Isn't it right? You guys do that here? I believe you do. No?
Not super high intensity.
Not as high, but probably normally you monitor a little bit that. But I do it more kind of scientifically way, because my company guarantee that you don't pay me if you can perform in a real situation. Wow, that's crazy, isn't it? Stupid. How you can prove that or guarantee that? Because our instructors learn how to project their circumstance, their situation. Just like you guys, when you're rolling, when you're throwing, when you're moving, you condition yourself to do something that's not natural in you. We, instructors in self-defense, we are conditioning to get our arm on the back or receive a punch or block a punch so the person can actually do it at full speed, full power. So them can create a pathway between heart rate, action, and result. You follow me? So I can't afford to teach martial art because it's a long process technique. I need to be myself through the process for years in order to follow and get what you got, which is your belt. In the Army, we don't have the luxury for that. You go 1 year to learn the technique that will save your life. So what Army does, exactly what I do. They teach you how to do a specific technique, and we don't call it techniques. How do you think we call it? Tools. Because it's a bag of tools that we give you. Then you use the right tool in the right moment. And we teach you how to do that. Use your tools. We can create patterns. Sorry? We can create patterns because you will follow the patterns. For that, you need to recognize the trigger in order to develop the pattern. Am I right? So if someone moves like that, like I see the lady here today, you need to be able to recognize the movement and do the blocking that you need to do, is it? So you're conditioning your body and you're creating pathway. When the person moves the way, you will get the block. Correct? What happens if the person doesn't do that and does something different? What happens with the pattern? The brain is not going to call that. It's not going to react. So you need to get in every condition a tool. It makes sense? No? Sorry, you arrived a little bit late. I'm just a guy talking in here. We're not doing anything now. And but if you got any questions, just raise your hand. And yeah. So our function is I don't know how many of you teaching Aikido are part of the sensei in there. Any one of you does teaching? Oh, you see? Yeah. So I don't know, you got children? How you work with the children? You work differently than work with the adults?
Yeah, more games.
More games.
More kind of play aspect.
All right. And but are you teaching the same techniques?
Near enough, yeah.
Okay. So what I found on my research is that you don't develop the safety switch in your brain until you are 25. So the children will kamikaze whatever you give it to them. Yep. No hesitation. You prove it's true?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been in Sierra Leone, and an 11-year-old carry AK-30 without hesitation. And if he's pissed off, he will shoot you. No hesitation. And he will smile when he's doing it. Because of that problem in there. They don't develop the part of the brain So, do we have to show the techniques to these children in a little bit of different way to prevent they don't become bully and then don't become too aggressive? And there's a bunch of things that we need to monitor, is it? But not just them. Teenagers. And a lot of adults like me, we don't develop anything in here. Nothing in there. So we need to be careful about it. For that, what do we need to do? We need to analyze the behaviors. Is that? Not everyone is like respectful. Not everyone is the same. So we need to understand that whatever you teach them, they will have their own reaction to that. Because I'm now coaching boxing. I got a lot of boxers. I did MMA and boxing for 4 years, New Zealand, Australia, 60 weight kilos, quite light. I'm a lighter guy, all right? So, and you can see in there that a lot of people, they just want to beat the crap out of someone. They want to hit it because this is what I need to do. And it's the wrong thinking. So what you're learning is for a reason, it's for a purpose. Not their purpose specifically, right? So if you start considering all these kind of things and you start thinking about self-defense, this way different the sport combat and a way different the martial art. Yeah? It's way more simple, but human being related is very complex because you need to train before you teach any technique that so they can lock the technique and use it in the right way. If it's not, you will have a bully unbuilt. Any question about that? Now, clear? You guys agree about that? Because what I was quite afraid here, because you guys very specific technique. When I said to Duncan, I want to talk about self-defense, and yeah, we like that, yeah, I was quite afraid I would be a little bit out of the place, because, yeah. So I've been doing this thing for quite a lot of time, and I find a lot of people, different people, females, and I'm very proud to tell you that we are the only company that work with ACC on self-defense. Did you hear about that? No one hear about it. When I said it, what? So ACC just treat people with problems. No, ACC got a division of psychology. And one of the biggest problems in New Zealand is domestic abuse and psychological abuse. And a lot of people suffer, and they pay us to try to fix it. So, trial and error. We've been for years, trial and error. So we come with 15 techniques that help us to unlock this little trigger. Yeah? That you have to develop through the time. Yeah? I don't know if you, when you guys started, every time you see a hand coming, kind of flinch. Oh, shit. It's coming. It's a normal reaction. Imagine someone that's been abused, how they will react to that. I'm going to give it a hug and start crying. Because they think and they remember all the punches. Yeah? Anyone in here been bullied or been abused before? We keep it for ourselves. But what happened with that? We need to prepare our brain to produce what we aiming to produce, which is a technique that will allow us to get far away from the problem. Is it right? Mm-hmm. How we can give it to someone without making any damage on them?
Create some space.
There you go, see? That's why the sensei is the sensei. You need to create some space. Why? Because you need to allow the person to feel safe. Remember, there's contact,
5 meters.
is it? You always are trying to push it. These people is not ready for that. So we need to work on how they react to certain movements. So we need to start from the basics. I hear you got some people here that does Krav Maga. They are here?
Not today, no, but yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Krav Maga, I don't know if you guys understand what Krav Maga is. It's a technique developed for army, specific Israeli army. I had the opportunity to visit Iraq, to be there when Saddam Hussein was in prison. All right? So I did serve in there in Kuwait in the 90s. I'm quite old, so don't worry about that. All right? And I had the opportunity in there to spend 6 months in the Krav Maga center and do Krav Maga with them, right? And what I believe this technique never, you can't call it self-defense. I don't know if you agree, probably a lot of people will be no agree with me, but it's designed to the 3 rules of the army. It's designed for that. Gouging, you got up. So it's good that you could probably learn the patterns, but you can't perform that as a true technique, because the technique is designed to the last rule of the army. Remember the rules we said? Located. There you go. And here you can't do that. Sorry, guys. Sorry to break it down, but you can't. There are too many good lawyers around. You can't do that. So this is why I sometimes try to make conscious of self-defense is a way different than why you guys got in the market. Tell me why. Why do you think it's not self-defense technique? Because good rules, isn't it? So what you will do if you punch someone and there's someone coming like that? What you will do? If you are a boxer, you go to your corner. You will stop. Then you give a big chance to the other one, take a big knife from the behind and come and charge on you because you punch it. Self-defense doesn't have rules. There is no rules. So what do we need to do is find a way to develop a specific technique that will trigger movement automatically on you, that will mechanize enough that you don't have to think about it. Now the question is, how long take for a person, a human being, to learn a movement? How many repetitions? Around 300 repetitions. So if you're doing 300 repetitions, your brain will create a little pathway. If you do it wrong, it's gonna take you 3,000 repetitions to correct this move. This is why you can say, you do it right or don't do it. Because the fixing will be way more painful than actually learn the move. This is why martial art is art. Because you have to do the thing right. Have to look right. Have to be right. So 300 repetitions to learn a move. Boxers, how many moves do you think a boxer has? On attack, I make it easy. On counter. 6 moves. You jab, you cross. You hook, you uppercut and you uppercut. And the rest is a variations of that. And that's it. That's the whole world of boxing. This is why it's so not looking well. Boxer there, boxers like horses. They just charge on. It's how you use that. It's how effective it is. Martial art, I don't know, probably. I'm not an expert there, but what I did is I did 1 year of Silat in East Timor. And they got a lot of moves. and they are very disciplined and just like you guys, very respectful. But it's a lot of techniques to learn. I did a year there, and probably I not even learn a half of the things they teach me properly. Think about self-defense, and think about the Lord, and think about what we're doing, how we can incorporate self-defense in our techniques. How do you think you can do that?
Understand what your legal limitations are with regards to reasonable force, and accept the fact that any time there's a confrontation in public, someone will have their phone out and will be videoing it. So it's not just what you do and say, because you might not pick that up on the phone.
And even if you've been filmed, you will be charged. You know why? Because you are cataloged as a professional.
Absolutely.
In the world. So you say, if you beat them up one of the fellows doing the boogie at nighttime Saturday, no matter what happened, you will be more guilty than anyone because you practice and you have self-control. And if you don't use your self-control, you are out of the law and you will be charged. Even if they attack you, whatever they did to you, you will be the one with more problems. Sorry guys to fire up the way, but this is the way it is. So how do you think we need to fix that and apply it to self-defense? Using the first rule, controlling your fear. If you can control the situation and calm it down as much as you can, you probably can get away with the problem. The other way, you have to react. So how I apply my martial art or my technique to a self-defense world? Yeah? And I said it, control your fears. So you know if you're in control, you are 50-50 winner. Then apply the right technique. So you need to believe in yourself quite well to discriminate what will be the best for me to do in this situation. Not just come out with and I'm done. He's on the floor, broken nose, eyes closed, I'm a winner. The police will knock you down. So we need to get the right technique. If someone is drunk, what do we should do? Immobilize. Is that? Make it lock him up. Is that? So if we punish the person or we hit it, he's under influence. He don't have any guilt of anything that he does to you. So what you need to do is try to control it. On the floor, whatever you use, whatever your technique that you use, but you need to control it and you need to be calm enough to do that. We need to try in self-defense to use as less force as possible. Why? Because we are with the power in here. We have the power, the ones we know things, we have the power in the situation. And everyone else will be treated as an innocent, as it doesn't know anything. No matter how angry they are, and how much you are pissed off or how much you get hurt, you will be the one responsible for the whole situation. So self-defense, it looks very simple, but it's a little bit complex in their way, all right? So how the ones we teach or the ones we teach ourselves, we can create a self-defense pathways in our brain through conditioning. And how we do conditioning? We need to work hard in the gym or here, do some cardio, elevate your heart rate, and when your heart is elevated, try the same technique you try when you are calm down. Let's see how they think that will be completely different game. Yeah? I got professional boxers, they can even hear what I said in front of me because they are so elevated, they just complete block. They don't know what to do. They just wing it because your heart affects your brain. So as soon as you get conditioned for what you're doing, then you are in the right state to use your technique. I don't know if you guys doing conditioning here or the kind of things? No? So there will be a good way to start it and for self-defense, yeah? To use what you actually do. And the other thing is give it to the person the opportunity to test the situation. He said, why? I have to put my face in there so he can punch me? No. But you have to use the force that actually you need to control someone. Right? And here, you grab someone's hand and he'll willingly give it to you to do the technique and to move. Is it right? Mm-hmm. Because we're training, we're creating patterns. But at some point, you actually have to put a little bit more effort and control to allow this person to say, oh, they're working. They work for me. I can do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're saying, I don't know, you guys don't do much kicking, do you?
No.
No much. So, but all the movements, all the defense, all the blocking, yeah? So, if you can manage to organize yourself in their way and actually feel that you actually can perform your technique in their conditions, then you are doing self-defense. And then your brain will tell you, good job, you're capable, this is your certificate, you can perform that. It's pretty much like CPR, first side. You do the CPR, they teach you how to do it, they teach you that and work with you there, you do that and you do it many times. Hopefully you will never use it. Same as self-defense. You learn techniques and you hope never use it. Never use it. But if you're there, you need to make sure that you can perform that. A lot of people go, and I got a lot of people coming to my studio from Pukiko, from other areas, especially West Auckland. They come in and they got beat up. Tell me a little bit about you. I did a lot of kickboxing, jiu-jitsu especially. A lot of jiu-jitsu, and what happened? Oh, they get back on the street, and I spent 3 days in the hospital, not very good, broken ribs, and I really frustrated because the effort I put on my study on that become none because I feel that I couldn't do it. I got scared. My call to you guys is people that does martial art, try to give it to people, to other people, teach to the other people, in the way that you actually get confident and say this person is capable to use it. Because if I got a piano that costs $30,000 in my house and I don't know anything about play piano, what is the point I have the piano? If I can use, I better sell it and buy something that actually I can do. Yeah? You understand, guys? So, what I try to do with that is there's a lot of companies in there, and to be honest, I really impressed with Duncan when he called me, because he, in certain way, he allowed me to come in and talk to you guys about my experience on self-defense, and agree to disagree probably in many things. You know, he is open to allow you guys to listen every single information that you possible can have, and from there learn and use it. Yeah, So my whole wasting of your time today, boring thing here, is try to make you understand that self-defense is not all about technique. You need to work on the mindset of your client, of yourself. See, I'm in a good spot to use my technique. Can I use it? What can I use from my technique? What I'm gaining with that, and how I can gain more of that. Because it's a great technique. So how I can actually, if I got in a situation, how I can actually perform what I learned, which is really different. They actually just learn, right? And you guys got the responsibility because you got a knowledge. And when you got a knowledge plus your capabilities, your abilities to perform, make it worse. Because, for example, I don't know, if I get drunk, usually I do, and I try to fight the gentleman there, it's like, this guy tall, and he beat me up. I would pay one of my lawyers to put it in jail, even if I studied. If I got a good lawyer, maybe I would take something from there. So this is why you need to think about the reality of what is going to happen when you use your technique and you protect yourself, right?